Hello everyone, welcome back to another Dragon Ball Daima episode talk. We are here, boys, on the first world, which means we are getting closer to the excitement. So this episode starts off with the Royal Guards attacking the gang, and our gang basically just hides, and I'm like, really? You're hiding? I've seen you take on a lot more dangerous stuff than that. However, when they try to fight back, Goku gets hit and he gets a bit incapacitated until it wears off, and afterwards he actually starts to fight back. Vegeta also is like, I'm a Saiyan, and goes in. And he does a good job overall. However, then he gets hit a couple of times. He's like, hey, Kakarot, revive bug now. So Goku gives him a revive bug. Vegeta's like, I'll eat it, fine. And then he eats it, gets his strength back. Meanwhile, with Goma, he is watching this attack on the television, I guess, because that's about all he's done so far in this show. However, when he's looking at Hybis, he eventually starts to notice that is the eye, the third eye. So it is officially confirmed, yes, that is the third eye. So the gang basically takes out the, actually today I was watching like Team 4 Star and like Kaiser called the Gendarmerie, whatever they're called. I don't know how you pronounce that. The Royal Guard, which is like what they are supposed to be. So from henceforth, they shall be known as Royal Guard. It's much easier than the name that they are called. So I'm going to call them the Royal Guard. So the Royal Guard is like, alright, we can't win this. Retreat! So they retreat. The gang wins. So now it's time to head for the Tamagami. Which I'm like, why though? You know, like, Glorio's like, let's go to the Tamagami. It's like, you know that is not, what? Oh my goodness. You know that she already has that ball, right? So, that ball's gone. Why are we, whatever. I guess, you know, the gang isn't supposed to know that, but still. But as they are going over there, there is a stronghold area. At least it looks like a base in the beginning, but then later on you see regular people, I guess, in that base. But that could also be the wives and children of the soldiers, so who's to say? But also, I don't know if we are now right at the palace doors or not, but it kind of looks like that. So let's just say we're at the palace doors, because like location-wise, I got a bit confused here. I apologize. But as the gang is heading over there, we get the explanation of the third eye, and basically it makes you super strong. That's basically the explanation. There you go. I summed it up in a couple of words. However, we do get something interesting, and that is how the third eye actually got lost, and it was Dabura who made sure that eye got lost. He's the reason, because he hired some kind of weird bug guy, and in order to like steal it, and then he was gonna distract everyone. So he distracts everyone. The bug guy goes in, grabs the eye, and leaves, and he escapes to the second demon world. However, he also uses the Kraken in order to get rid of his pursuers by accident, and goes to the third demon world where he's like, aha, I have the eye, and then some kind of ogre thing just like hits him. And then the third eye just rolls off the cliff and falls down. And then later on, Hybis was the one who found it and just jammed that thing into his belt. And also, the reason that Dabura did that is because of the fact that was the only way he could take down his dad and become the Demon King. So there you go, that's the full backstory. And it was nice to see Dabura again. So as we are now at the main area, Goku asks Neva for help, but Neva's like, I'm just an old man. So the gang has to fight on their own. And overall, they're doing a pretty good job with the fight. Also, somewhere else, Hybis gets into contact with a girl who looks very familiar, and I will headcanon her. I hope her identity never gets revealed, because I want her to be Toa from Dragon Ball Xenoverse. Because, in case you don't know, Toa was designed by Toriyama, if I remember that correctly. Yes. It says here on the Dragon Ball Wiki, in an interview, Dragon Ball Xenoverse producer Hirano confirmed Toa was created by the author himself, Akira Toriyama. So that means that this can be Toa, and she looks like a younger version of Toa. So yeah, I'm gonna headcanon this and say that she is Toa. But she's like, hey, beautiful, how you doing today? Would you like to give me that belt? She uses her feminine woes and her, you know, flirting abilities in order to get it. And he's like, ew, no, what, disgusting. However, I will trade it for your hat. Because she's wearing this, like, weird hat. And it's like, okay, so he won't go for her, but he'll take the hat for the belt that has the third eye on it. Yes, he doesn't know that, but still. So she gives him the hat. He takes off the belt and gives it to her. And she's just like, I'm insulted. That was so funny. I love how easy that was because, of course, Hybis doesn't know. To him, it's just a belt. He's like, yeah, I like this belt a lot. However, I like your hat more. So, trade? But the fact that, like, flirting just does not work on him at all. It's like, yeah, here you go. Here's this useless belt. Give me that cool hat. It's the stupidest looking hat ever, but I love that sequence so much. I thought it was so funny. So meanwhile, back with the gang, Goku comes up with the idea like, why don't we just wait them out? They'll run out of ammo eventually. And then Pansy's like, yeah, no, those guns can fire for about 10 days. So unless you want to wait for 10 days, you know, they basically have the equivalent of infinite ammo. So then the gang fights back and win. However, then we have tanks that show up. And these tanks shoot something that when it touches the ground creates kind of like an electrical shockwave. So now there are problems with those as well. However, as we are having problems with the tanks, bombs from above appear. Just bombs are falling out of the sky, and when we look closer, it's the king from the third world. He's here, Pansy's papa. He's finally here. He made it here, and they just throw bombs at the tanks. However, one of the tanks actually shoots the ship, but they're okay. Don't you worry about that one. They are perfectly fine. And now we have the king with his, I guess, his own royal guard, I guess. His elite soldiers to go up against the royal guard. We're gonna call them that. And this is the part that I loved. Look, the beginning of the episode was a bit of a hit and miss, but now we are in the good stuff. However, eventually Goku is kind of just sick of it, and he basically goes die mode, as in he turns Super Saiyan and just blows everyone up and beats everyone in a very well animated sequence. But to be honest, in Daima every sequence is well animated. But yeah, he basically goes, I'm done with this, and just goes Super Saiyan and takes everyone out. However, when Goma sees this, he is a bit worried, but then Dagesu is like, hey, we still got the G-Force, as I have called them in the last episode, but we still got the Royal Guard Ginyu Force, guys. We still got them, right? That's all. So then Goma's like, alright, fine. So that seems to be the next episode where the gang will go up against the Royal Guard. And I also saw the preview for the next episode, and we see Dagesu hold a gun to Dende. So it's gonna be hopefully a really good episode because of the fact that as I have looked online, people haven't really been the fan of these last 3 episodes. Now, I personally have, even though I will agree on looking back, the fact that episode 14 is kind of a bit of a, you know, like a long episode. I mean, you have Goku falling forever. You have, you know, like a lot of slow stuff happens in that episode. And while I will say that the giant episode is good, it's not good in its placement. That should have been the episode right before we got to the Dragon Ball. If it was placed there, I would have loved it. Alright, I would have loved it, but you get like Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, you have like the fact that we now have the second ball, the enemy, quote unquote, have one of the balls as well. So now everything is heading to a fight, and then we have, well, filler episode, which just feels wrong and kind of kills the pacing a bit. But also episode 14 has some bad pacing issues as well. But overall, I actually very much enjoyed this episode. I thought it was a good episode. I am excited because of the fact that we are attacking the main bad guy stronghold. We potentially have Toei first, I guess, quote-unquote, canon appearance. It's kind of like what they did with, what was the name? Android 21 from Dragon Ball FighterZ. In that game, you have Android 21. However, her design is repurposed and also was supposed to be the wife of Dr. Gero, as you saw in Dragon Ball Superhero. I like that kind of stuff, so I hope that this is Toei's appearance, because even then, back in the day, you know, she wouldn't really need to be the next up in line to become the next, you know, overlord of the demon realm. So I really hope that that's Toei. In my headcanon, if they never reveal her name, which unless it's Toei, I hope they never do, I'm gonna call her Toei, and that's it, okay? Because her design is so similar, and since they won't give her a new name, you know, it doesn't matter. And I also like the whole Dabura stuff with the fact that he was the one who got rid of the third eye, kind of hired someone, so that he could take over as the ruler of the demon realm. I like that as well. However, the whole, like, hiding from the guns is like, you guys can go Super Saiyan, you know this, right? Because, like, this is the kind of thing that this episode made me notice, where it's like, this kind of feels like one of those Dragon Ball movies. You know, when they just take forever to go Super Saiyan, and then when they do, they just beat up the bad guys, kind of, until the bad guys get stronger, at which point they go back, they're once again backed into a corner, but that's the whole movie plot. That's how the movie works. And then Gogeta happens, and Broly is taken down. But that's kind of what this felt like, where it's like, why don't Vegeta and Goku just go Super Saiyan? Like, I get why they don't go Super Saiyan 3. I'm not asking them to go Super Saiyan 3. But as we have established at the end of the Cell Saga, these people should by now be able... I mean, Goku should be able to, but Vegeta by now should also be able to use Super Saiyan without draining extra energy because, well, Goku perfected Super Saiyan back in the Cell Saga. So you could just go Super Saiyan, you know? That's the kind of thing that always kind of like, boggles my mind. But overall, I enjoyed this episode. I would not say it's like a top tier episode, but I wouldn't really call it the worst either. So let me know you guys' thoughts in the comment section down below about this episode. And with that being said, thank you all so very much for watching, and I do hope you guys have enjoyed. And if you did, please like button, subscribe if you're new, if you've done so already, turn on notifications, and don't forget to check out the Let's Play channel, link in the description and at the end of the video. And I'll see you guys next week for the episode titled Degesu, for episode 16 of the 20 episode Dragon Ball Daima. Bye!